Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a truly fascinating look at something that touches almost everyone who uses the internet, streams videos, or interacts with AI. We're diving into AIOZ network.
When I first heard AIOZ network, my mind immediately went to, okay, another tech project, but what does it actually mean for me or like the apps I use every day?
That's a fantastic question, and it's exactly what we're here to unpack for you. Think of AIOZ as aiming to be the AWS for Web3.
Okay, AWS, I know Amazon's cloud stuff, but Web3 still sounds a bit jargony.
Right. So Web3, in simple terms, it's really about building a more decentralized internet, moving control from, large corporations back to individual users and communities.
Gotcha. Less big tech control, more people power.
Exactly. And AWS, Amazon's massive cloud service that basically powers a huge chunk of the internet today. So our mission here is to simplify all this AIOZ stuff for you so you can really grasp what this project is all about, why it matters, and maybe the significant problems it's trying to solve in our digital lives. We've pulled together a lot of key insights, and by the end, you'll be well-informed on this, pretty ambitious venture.
So if it's tackling big problems, what are the most pressing issues it's trying to fix that affect us right now? Like, practically speaking.
That's a great point. Let's really dig into what's happening behind the scenes. Think about your favorite streaming service, right? Or where you store your photos online, maybe even the AI that helps you with tasks. Right now, most of that lives on huge centralized servers. Picture them as massive, incredibly expensive data centers owned by just a few big companies. The ones Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud.
Right, the usual suspects.
Yeah, and there are some critical issues with this setup. First, high costs. These centralized services, they're incredibly expensive to run.
And those costs must go somewhere.
They inevitably get passed down to you, the consumer, or they significantly reduce the earnings for, say, content creators.
Which means less money for the artist we love and often higher subscription fees for us.
Yeah.
Feels like a lose-lose sometimes.
Exactly. Second big issue. Single points of failure. If one of these giant data centers goes down, or if there's a problem with their internet connection, boom.
Your streaming video just buffers forever.
Or your favorite app just stops working. It's like putting all your digital eggs in one very large yet surprisingly fragile basket. It's a major vulnerability for services we really rely on.
I remember when a major cloud provider went down a while back, and it felt like half the internet just vanished for hours. Really brings home how dependent we are.
It absolutely did. And third, censorship and control. Because everything is centralized, these companies have immense power over your content and data. They can censor things, remove things if they choose to.
Which raises serious questions about digital freedom, right? Whose voice gets heard?
Precisely. It impacts people's voices, even their livelihoods. And, okay, here's where it gets really interesting for AI. The demand for powerful computers, especially GPUs, graphics processing units for artificial intelligence, is just skyrocketing.
Yeah, you hear about chip shortages all the time. Exactly. This is leading to a massive shortage. What this means is that AI development becomes incredibly expensive and, crucially, centralized in the hands of just a few tech giants. It makes it extremely difficult for smaller teams or even individual innovators to get access to the computing power they need.
So they can't even compete or try out new ideas easily.
Right. They're essentially locked out unless they have huge funding.
So what's fascinating here is that AIOZ network isn't just tackling one minor issue. They're going after these fundamental problems: cost, reliability, control, and importantly, democratizing access to AI compute power. That's incredibly ambitious. Are they really trying to solve all that with one solution?
They are, and it's all about shifting that power. Instead of keeping it concentrated in those big, expensive, centralized data centers, AIOZ aims to distribute it among many, many more participants all around the world. So what does this all mean for us? AIOZ's core idea is, to create a more fair, efficient, and truly decentralized digital world instead of those massive single data centers.
They envision a future where countless everyday computers around the world work together, like one big network.
Okay, that sounds like a huge shift. How would that even work conceptually? I mean, how do you trust all those individual computers? It seems chaotic.
That's a great question, and it gets right to the heart of their vision. Let's use a simple analogy for you. Imagine a global neighborhood watch, but for your digital stuff. Instead of one huge, expensive security company, which is basically what a centralized data center is, watching everything, everyone in the neighborhood chips in a little bit of their unused computer space or time. You get paid for contributing, right? And everyone benefits from a more secure, more efficient system. AIOZ actually calls this vision people instead of data centers.
People instead of data centers. I like that.
Yeah, it's catchy. And it's not just about like randomly sharing your computer's power. It's all orchestrated and secured by blockchain technology. This creates a transparent, trustworthy system where everyone gets a fair share, and it's all verified by the network itself.
So the blockchain acts like the secure ledger for it all.
Exactly. They're building a foundational infrastructure layer, much like how AWS provides those basic services for websites, but AIOZ is doing it in a decentralized, community-driven way for Web3 that makes it inherently more resilient.
That analogy makes a lot of sense. But how does my computer or anyone's computer actually do all that work without messing things up? How does it work in practice, like technically?
It sounds complicated, I know, but AIOZ has a pretty clever system. It combines that blockchain tech with a vast network of individual devices.
So there must be some sort of central coordination, right? How do they manage all that without just becoming centralized themselves?
Exactly. That's where their layer 1 blockchain comes in. You can think of it as the foundational operating system or maybe the brain for the entire AIOZ network.
Okay, the brain.
It's built using something called Cosmos SDK. That's a popular toolkit for building custom blockchains, known for being flexible and fast. And crucially, it's also fully compatible with Ethereum's virtual machine, the EVM.
Ah, so it can talk to all the Ethereum stuff.
Precisely. It means it can seamlessly interact with and leverage the vast ecosystem of existing Ethereum-based apps and tools. Gives it a broad reach right from day one, allows it to communicate with a huge part of the decentralized web, all while being super fast and having really low transaction fees. This brain keeps track of everything, who's contributing resources, who's paying for services, ensuring all transactions are secure.
Okay, that's the brain. And then the actual worker bees doing the heavy lifting.
That's where the DePIN edge nodes come in. DePIN stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network.
DePIN, right.
And this is where you could actually participate. These edge nodes are essentially ordinary people running special software on their home computers or devices.
So my laptop could be an edge node?
Potentially, yeah. They volunteer their unused computing power CPU, GPU, their hard drive space, and their internet bandwidth. And what's truly impressive is that as of August 2025, they have over 300,000 of these nodes active globally.
Wow, 300,000. That's a massive community-driven network of individual contributors. What kinds of services do these nodes collectively provide then?
They offer a suite of pretty powerful services, each with a W3 prefix, signifying its Web3 decentralized nature. These directly address the core problems we talked about earlier.
Okay, like what?
First, AIOZ storage, W3S. Think of it like community-run cloud storage. You upload a file, it gets encrypted, broken into tiny pieces, and then stored securely across many of these edge nodes.
So it's safer because it's spread out.
Exactly. Far more resilient and private than one central server. And critically for businesses, it's compatible with Amazon S3's API. That makes it incredibly easy for them to switch over their existing systems.
That S3 compatibility is smart. Makes adoption easier.
Definitely. Then there's AIOZ Stream, DCDN. This is for streaming videos. When you watch a video, the network intelligently finds the closest edge node that has a copy and streams it directly to you.
Closer means faster, less buffering.
You got it. Dramatically reduces buffering, significantly lowers costs for content providers, and gives you a faster, smoother experience. And get this, the network has already delivered over 19 petabytes of data.
19 petabytes. That's an incredible amount of content.
It really is. Then there's AIOZ AI, W3 AI. This is a huge one, especially now with the AI explosion. It lets AI developers use the combined computing power of all those edge nodes for their AI tasks.
Like training models?
Training complex models, running demanding calculations, powering inference engines, all of it. This makes high-powered AI accessible and affordable. It really democratizes AI development beyond just the big tech giants.
Wow, okay, so it levels the playing field a bit.
It aims to.
Yeah.
And finally, AIOZ PIN, W3 PIN. This serves as ensures files stored on another decentralized system called IPFS stay available permanently. Think like NFT metadata. This makes sure your digital assets are always reliably there.
Okay, so storage, streaming, AI compute, and pinning. That's a lot.
It is.
So my spare computer power could literally help stream a movie for someone on the other side of the world, or even contribute to training some cutting-edge AI model, and I'd get paid for it.
Absolutely.
That's really cool, like a little side hustle for my computer.
Totally. And that's the best part. If you run an edge node, you get rewarded in AIOZ tokens for sharing your resources. It's like getting paid for your computer, doing some valuable work while you're maybe out grocery shopping. What's fascinating here is how these individual contributions really translate into tangible real-world benefits for lots of different types of users.
Yeah, it sounds like it could really change the game for different groups, not just the super tech-savvy people.
Precisely. So for the everyday person, the node operators, if you have a computer with spare resources, you can earn AIOZ tokens. It's a way to monetize your unused digital assets. Imagine that dusty old hard drive actually doing something useful.
Yeah, instead of just sitting there.
Right. And the DePIN app, the software they use, has already seen over 300,000 downloads. That shows a significant number of people are actually engaging with this.
Okay, that's a good sign of interest. And for the bigger players like developers and businesses, what's the draw for them?
This is huge for them. AIOZ offers up to a 90% reduction in content delivery and storage costs compared to traditional giants like AWS or Akamai.
90%, wow.
Yeah. Imagine an indie filmmaker, right? They might otherwise be priced out by Amazon S3's bandwidth costs. Now they could deliver their content globally, potentially competing with big studios.
Or that garage inventor working on the next big AI idea.
Exactly. They could finally access supercomputing power without needing millions in venture capital just for infrastructure. Plus, it offers greater reliability. Remember, no single point of failure. If one node goes offline, plenty of others have the data. The system's just much more robust.
I remember trying to upload my entire photo library to a cloud service once, and the estimated cost nearly made my jaw drop. A 90% reduction sounds like actual magic for anyone who's felt that pain.
It can be a real game changer. And for content creators, YouTubers, indie filmmakers, even podcasters like us, AIOZ offers a more fair and cost-effective way to store and stream their content. Potentially, they keep a larger share of the revenue without the high fees of centralized platforms.
More money for the creators themselves, that's good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Ultimately, for all of us online, it aims for a more robust, faster, and censorship-resistant internet. Your videos might stream with less buffering, the services you use could be more reliable, all powered by a global community. It's a vision of a more accessible, efficient, and, well, equitable internet for everyone.
Okay, so it genuinely sounds like an incredible solution on paper. But if it's so great and solves so many problems, what are the catches? There must be some risks or things people are worried about.
That's a really important question, and yeah, we need to look at this with a critical eye. No ambitious project of this scale is without its challenges, and AIOZ definitely faces a few significant ones.
Okay, let's start with the market itself. They're trying to do a lot: storage, streaming, AI. I imagine the competition must be fierce in each of those areas.
You absolutely hit the nail on the head there. First up, fierce competition. AIOZ is trying to be this all-in-one platform, but in each area, AI, storage, streaming, they're up against very strong, specialized competitors.
Like who?
Well, think of Theta Network and LivePeer for streaming. For decentralized storage, you've got giants like Filecoin and Arweave, and for AI computing, there's Render or Akash Network. AIOZ has to prove its integrated solution is actually better than using maybe different best-in-class solutions from these rivals.
So they have to be excellent across the board, not just, okay, that's a tall order. What about just building and growing such a massive network of nodes and users?
That leads directly to the classic cold start problem. It's a challenge for any multi-sided platform like this. AIOZ needs to attract people to run the nodes. That's the supply of resources, right?
Right, the computers.
And they need to attract developers to build apps on it that creates the demand for those resources.
Yeah.
And they need end users to actually use those apps.
It's just like a three-way balancing act.
Exactly. If one of these groups doesn't grow enough, the whole system can kind of struggle to take off. However, it is worth noting here, they have already secured partnerships with major tech players like Alibaba Cloud and Google for startups.
Oh, okay. That helps.
Yeah, that kind of institutional interest acts as a powerful counter to the cold start problem. It lends significant credibility in a competitive market and signals real-world adoption potential.
That's definitely a plus. But that interconnected growth is still a difficult balance, even with big partners. What about transparency? For outsiders looking in, how can we tell how much impact they're really making?
That's another valid point, transparency on usage. While the number of edge nodes over 300,000 sounds impressive, and it is, the publicly available metrics on the actual usage of decentralized applications built on AIOZ or the overall economic activity on its blockchain, well, they're still somewhat limited or maybe outdated.
So it's hard to see how much real demand there is right now.
It can be. It makes it a bit more of a bet on future potential rather than current, easily verifiable usage stats across the board.
And as a global decentralized network, I imagine regulatory hurdles must be a huge concern. Data moving across borders on anonymous nodes sounds like a legal minefield.
It really is. Regulatory roadblocks are a big one. With data being stored and processed globally on thousands of potentially anonymous nodes, AIOZ could face complex legal challenges. Think data privacy laws like Europe's GDPR,
Right.
AI regulations, which are still evolving everywhere, even responsibility for content that might be illegal or infringe on copyrights.
Yeah.
Navigating that is tricky for any DePIN project. It requires very careful and continuous adaptation.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. And the sheer complexity of building this kind of tech, that must present ongoing challenges too.
Absolutely. Technological complexity. Building a hybrid blockchain and four interconnected decentralized services, all designed to scale globally. That's incredibly ambitious.
Right.
This complexity means there are just more potential points for bugs, security vulnerabilities, or simply delays in development hitting their roadmap. The roadmap for 2025 looks very extensive, and executing all of that successfully will be a significant feat.
And finally, the token itself. The AIOZ token that pays the node operators. Its value can be a bit of a roller coaster, right? Like most crypto.
Indeed. Token volatility. The value of the AIOZ token can fluctuate a lot. If the token price drops significantly, it might become less profitable for people to run their nodes.
Which could shrink the network's resources.
Potentially, yes. While AIOZ has adjusted its tokenomics to reduce inflation down to 5% by 2026, which is a positive step for long-term stability, that price volatility is still a factor. It impacts the network's sustainability and how attractive it is for participants. These are all critical areas for AIOZ to keep addressing as it matures. So to sum it all up for you, AIOZ Network is really aiming to build the fundamental AWS for Web3, a comprehensive, decentralized infrastructure for AI, data storage, and media streaming.
Right. It wants to give us a more efficient, fair, and reliable internet by letting everyday people like you and me contribute our unused computer resources and get paid for it. But yeah, it's got some big challenges ahead and a really crowded market, and it needs to keep showing strong real-world demand and adoption. This is actually a great point to quickly pause and remind our listeners of something.
That's right. If you're enjoying how we break down these complex projects into hopefully simple pieces and want more reviews just like this one, make sure you subscribe to our channel, CryptoBox. We do all the complex research so you don't have to. We've taken a pretty deep dive into AIOZ Network today, looking at its really ambitious vision to transform our digital infrastructure. They've built an impressive network, over 300,000 nodes.
Yeah, that number's still sticking with me.
And they've secured those significant partnerships with major tech players like Alibaba Cloud and Google for startups. That signals serious institutional interest and validation for their technology, which is important.
It's truly incredible to think about how our personal computers could actually power the internet of tomorrow, making things faster, fairer for everyone, from content creators to AI developers, just by distributing the load and democratizing access.
Absolutely. The future of decentralized infrastructure like AIOZ Network could really profoundly impact how we interact with digital content and AI. And this raises an important question for you listening to ponder. If a truly decentralized internet powered by ordinary people's computers becomes the norm, what new creative possibilities or maybe even privacy challenges might emerge that we haven't even considered yet?
A really thought-provoking way to end. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time, stay curious.